This video will take you through the steps of setting up a group cohort. It only aims to give you an overview of the process, and we strongly recommend you also use our written articles that contain all the detailed information for each of the fields browsed in this video. An example of report from a group cohort could look like this one. You'll be able to easily display the overall team performance, average scores split by section and/or subsection, or even respondents' score distribution for individual or groups of questions. And there are many more options available. So now, let's get started with our cohort initiation setup. The first step is to turn on cohort initiations in Site Settings form. Next, head to Assessments. Select your assessment and click on Settings. Once in Settings, go to the Cohort Settings tab. In our scenario, we're setting up a group cohort initiation. The default behavior is for your cohort report to produce automatically and sent to the contact for the group once the completion date has passed and the minimum number of respondents have completed a response. However, using this field, you can override that, including sending separate reports to every respondent. The default days to completion is used to calculate the completion date for the group. Then, set the default minimum responses required to complete the cohort. This can be left blank, or if you set it to 0, the cohort initiation page will allow the user to set a minimum number of responses. Only select the External Cohort Initiation checkbox if you want customers to be able to automatically initiate and manage their own cohort. Enter a unique cohort external ID. Specify the cohort report template that will be used to produce the report. Default BCC is the blind copy destination for the report. Add the contact email address. Finally, select one of the 3 options for how the respondents may be specified by the customer. Great! We have now completed the first step of the setup. Now, let's configure the cohort roles. A cohort requires at least one role to be set up. Press Add Role. Type in the name of the role. Select a customer type if applicable. Add the minimum number of respondents. We are now done with this part of the setup. The next step is to set up your emails templates. Head to Emails. The cohort-specific emails templates you need to set up depend on what kind of cohort initiation you are setting up for. There are 3 options. To set up your email template, click Add Email, select the right email type, type your subject and text, and click Save. Only if you're setting up a customer contact managed initiation, you need to set up your site text. Go to Site Text, add site text, fill in the required information, type your text, and click Save. All is in order for us to launch our first cohort initiation. First, let's go through the steps of an administrator-managed cohort initiation. Click on Cohort Initiations, then Add Cohort Initiation. Fill in all the required fields, as per demonstrated. Click Save, and your cohort initiation is created. You can now add respondents to your cohort. Click on Action, Respondents, Add Respondent. Enter their details, assign them a role, and click Save. Once you have listed all the required respondents, click Send Invitations. The invitations create responses listed on the responses list, and the emails are sent to every respondent. For a customer-managed cohort initiation, you need to build the URL for your external cohort initiation page. Send this URL to the cohort contact, and they'll be able to create the cohort and add the respondents. You can take group reporting to a whole new level by adding iterations to this group cohort. Iterations allow you to manage running the assessment a number of times and to report on how the team has scored at different points. With iterations, your report pictures their results over time. And the great thing is, the whole process can be automated. If you'd like to add iterations to your cohort initiation, follow those steps. Back to Assessment Settings, go to the Cohort Iterations tab. You'll set up an iteration for the first response, and then one to manage each subsequent response. Press Add Cohort Iteration to your first iteration. Fill in the iteration name. The label is the reporting name for the iteration. Then specify the order this iteration appears in the series. Enter the default days to completion. And finally, select the report to be used for the first iteration. For subsequent iterations, you'll need to complete a few additional fields. For the order, you can either specify a number or repeating if you want to periodically repeat the assessment. Days from the previous iteration and Date Rule allow you to specify the time you want this subsequent iteration to be automatically created. And you'll also have to choose one of the 4 options for the respondent generation. The report template is usually a bit different when there are multiple iterations available, so you can specify that version here. Your iteration is now created. It is that simple. Thank you for watching this video and have fun creating your group cohorts.